Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful short stories you'll ever read, Alphonse Daudet's The Last Lesson. It's this incredible story about language, identity, and that deep sinking feeling of regret you get when you realize you've taken something precious for granted.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. Imagine you were told that starting tomorrow, the language you've spoken your entire life, the one you think in, the one you dream in, is just gone, forbidden. That feeling right there is the very soul of the story we're about to jump into. So, our story kicks off on what seems like any other day. We see it all through the eyes of a young boy named Franz, who lives in the French region of Alsace. It's a beautiful, sunny morning, and like pretty much any kid, the absolute last thing he wants to do is go to school. So, Franz has this classic dilemma, right? On one side, you've got school. He's totally unprepared for a test, and he's terrified of his teacher, Monsieur Hummel, and his big, scary ruler. But on the other hand, the weather is perfect, the birds are singing. The temptation to just ditch school and run off into the woods is huge. But he fights the urge and starts rushing to school. And as he does, he starts to notice that things just feel off. The whole town, everything that's usually so familiar, is just different. There's this strange quiet in the air. And the clues just keep piling up, building this incredible sense of mystery. First, he sees a crowd around the town bulletin board, which, for the last 2 years since the war, has been the source of nothing but bad news. Then he gets to school, and it's eerily quiet, none of the usual morning chaos. And inside, sitting in the back, are the village elders. And to top it all off, his teacher, M. Hamel, is wearing his fancy suit, the one he only wears for inspections or special prize days. So you can just imagine what's going through poor Franz's head. He's late, he's scared he's going to get in trouble, but now he's also trying to piece together this puzzle. He knows something big has happened, but he just can't figure out what. And then, the moment of truth. But instead of yelling at Franz for being late, M. Hamel speaks to him so gently, and then he delivers the news. In one single announcement, the entire world shifts on its axis, and everything suddenly, terribly makes sense. Just let that sink in. This isn't just changing a class schedule. This is a political order from the new Prussian rulers. It's an attempt to erase their culture, their heritage, their language, starting with the children. This is it, the very last day they will ever be taught in French. For Franz, these words are a thunderclap. And bam, in that 1 second, he gets it. The crowd at the town hall, the strange quiet, the old men in the classroom paying their last respects to their language and their teacher, all his apathy just vanishes, and it's replaced by this wave of shock and, gut-wrenching regret. So what happens next isn't just a grammar lesson. No, it becomes a lesson about life, about culture, and about what you lose when you lose your language. This is the moment where everything changes for Franz. You can see his whole world shift in just a few minutes. He goes from, not caring at all, literally thinking about skipping school, to this jolt of shock. My last French lesson. Then comes the regret, this horrible feeling that he's wasted so much time. And with that regret comes this new, deep understanding. He finally gets why the elders are there, to thank the man they'd all taken for granted for 40 years. And then M. Hamel gives this incredible, passionate speech. He's not just a teacher anymore, he's a patriot. He talks about how beautiful the French language is, elevating it from just another school subject to this precious treasure that they absolutely have to protect. The lesson itself becomes an act of defiance. And this right here, this is the heart of the whole story. M. Hamel is saying that language isn't just a bunch of words, it's your identity. For people who have been conquered, holding on to their native tongue is like holding the key to their own prison. It keeps their spirit, their culture, and their hope for freedom alive. So much of the sadness in this story really just boils down to one simple, very human thing: procrastination. Amel says everyone's to blame. The parents who wanted their kids to earn a little money instead of going to school, Franz for skipping class to go fishing, even himself for not being a more dedicated teacher. They all thought, there's plenty of time. But now, time is up. And then, the inevitable moment arrives. The clock starts to strike 12, the lesson has to end, the sound of the Prussian soldiers' trumpets drifts in through the window, signaling the official changeover. The end is just so sudden and so heartbreaking.
You can just feel the weight of this moment, can't you? The clock striking noon, the trumpets outside, and M. Hamill, their teacher for 40 years, stands up, pale as a sheet, just overcome with emotion. He tries to say something, but he can't. The words are stuck in his throat. He's just too choked up. So, unable to speak, he does the only thing he can. He grabs a piece of chalk, and with every ounce of strength he has, he writes 2 words on the blackboard. Vive la France, long live France. It's his final, silent, patriotic act. And then, without a word, he just gestures to the class that school is dismissed. The lesson is over. The last lesson is so much more than just a story about a war. It's this powerful, timeless reminder to really cherish the things that make us who we are while we still have them. And it leaves us with a really important question. What parts of your own life, your own culture, do you maybe take for granted? What would you do if you found out today was your last chance to celebrate them? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.